Welcome, everyone. We're live. Woohoo! How's it going? Looks like I've got a couple people here. I'm going to open up the chat and welcome whoever's here live already. Just so you know, I can't see who you are until you type in the chat to me. So if you want to say hello, I'd love to hear from you. And where are you coming from? Where are you in the world? Very interested to know where people are when they're tuning in. Hey, Richard from Spokane, Washington. Yes, wonderful to see you here today. Yes, we're going to give people just a minute or two to drop in. And while we're doing that, let's just start tapping gently on the collarbone points. Let's do really gently and slowly, nice and easy. And sometimes I tell people this a lot when I'm working with clients is that you can always tell like how stressed you are or how anxious you are by how fast you're tapping. So sometimes check in with your tapping, and if you feel like maybe it's a little fast, slow it down a little, and that sends another message to your nervous system. Sneha, hello from Austin, Texas. Yes, so close to me, just up a little north. Yes, wonderful. Thank you for being here. So the slower you tap, the more of a calming signal it sends to your nervous system, right? I've got a really, I think, great topic today. I think it's great. I hope you do too. Something that I really love talking about because I feel like it's something that we just, it's something we don't talk enough about, honestly, which is how narcissistic trauma can affect us in really subtle ways. And, I'm going to switch to side of the hand now. A lot of people don't even know what narcissistic trauma is. They don't even know what narcissism is, or maybe they have an idea of what it is, but they're not sure. And there's a lot of ways narcissism can show up in our lives, in relationships. And all those ways aren't really known. And so there's sort of a stereotype out there about what a narcissist is like that's not necessarily that accurate. So I like to talk about topics that sort of deal with more so like how it shows up for us when we have this kind of trauma. It's important to understand, I think, how narcissists can behave. But I think what's more important is to focus on how we're feeling, how this trauma has impacted our lives and in subtle ways in our daily behaviors, in our core beliefs, in the things that block us from having what we want in life. And I think those are important things to talk about. So let's just talk about that for a moment. What I want to say about abundance, because we're talking about abundance today. I'm just switching side of the hand here. You can tap with me. You can tap at whatever point feels good to you. So how does it block your abundance? I mean, we're not just talking about regular money blocks here. Like, I know you hear all this law of attraction stuff, which is great. I love law of attraction stuff. And it talks about these money beliefs that are floating around out there that block your abundance, like money is the root of all evil, or money is greedy, or money doesn't grow on trees. I heard that one a lot when I was a kid. And yes, those can definitely be blocks to abundance and money as a form of abundance. But what I really want to talk about today is more like how this specific kind of trauma just stops your flow in general, and then how that relates to different types of abundance. Because it's not just about money, right? I mean, if you think about it, everything is energy. Everything in the universe is energy. We believe that, right? Most of you that are here right now watching me, you're probably some kind of EFT practitioner or a coach or someone in transformation, or you're interested in these things, and you probably believe in the idea of energy being who we are and what we are, right? Yeah, so it's all energy. Even fear and anxiety is energy. Fear and anxiety is just energy that's like trying to move through you, and it just gets stuck or it doesn't get expressed. and it gets bottled up. So let's think about abundance, and let's think about what abundance is to you. Okay, so what I want you to do now is just tune into, what does abundance mean to you? And it can be anything. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but what does it mean to you? Okay, I'll just throw out some ideas. Okay, it can be money. Okay, it can be income. It can be wealth, whatever kind of wealth that might be. There is a difference in money and wealth. It could be relationships. It could be health, right? Health. It could be wellness. It could be love. Yeah, it could be flowing gracefully through life. That feels abundant, doesn't it? Absolutely. Flowing gracefully. So there's so many things it could be. So I just want you to think about what it is for you right now. And then just think about, what is that abundance? Like, where does it come from? You know, you might have a belief system. Where does this abundance come from? Well, it comes from source. And it can come from whatever source, whatever you want to name source is fine. And think about how, if that's source and if it's readily available to us all the time, then why do we get blocked? Why can't we receive? What's the problem here? What's the interference? Well, narcissistic trauma is interfering with your ability to receive. And this is why. If you think about how the narcissistic dynamic works, it's based on lack. Okay, we talk about this a lot, right? It's based on lack. May the source be with you too, Richard. It's based on lack, as in, I win and you lose, or if you win, I lose. So in a narcissistic dynamic, if you think about what causes a narcissistic personality disorder, if in fact it is that a person has so much trauma and shame that they cannot process it in childhood, and they project it out onto the world, and they project it out onto everyone, and they create a false self. They create a false self in order to survive, and they create a reality that's set up to support that false self. And then everything in their environment is an object that they're using to make sure they stay safe. They feel safe, and their false reality is being upheld. And at the core of this reality is that they don't have what they need, because that's why they're trying to get it from everything in their external world. It's push-pull. Absolutely. There's a push-pull dynamic. And we are participating in that, right? There can't be a push-pull without two sides. So whatever it is that in a narcissistic dynamic that the narcissist is taking, and when I say taking, I'm going to say you have to actually give it. Okay, you have to be a participant. Whether it's attention, that's a form of abundance, right? Attention is energy. Attention, that's a big one, right? Narcissists like a lot of attention. Maybe it's some other kind of resource. It could be money. Narcissists very much so will take what they feel entitled to. This could include money, or they could withhold money. That could be how they keep people attached to them. That's something they may use. It could be some other form of a resource. It could be respect. It could be relationships, other people that they're connected to, that you're connected to. They don't want you to have something that they want. They don't want you to get attention. They don't want you to shine. They don't want you to succeed, because they perceive that when you get something, that means they don't get it. And so it's a lack consciousness, right? That's not a oneness concept. That's lack. And so if you have been participating in this dynamic, and especially if you were raised in an environment like this, then there's a part of you that believes probably that if you receive something, then it's going to make someone else suffer. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel bad that you've got something and someone else doesn't. It could be that. It could also be that what's happened to you is that you're so used to this narcissist taking things from you as soon as you have them. As soon as you focus your attention on something, they want that attention, especially if it's not focused on them. As soon as you focus your attention on something, they don't want you to do that. They want you to be available for them. As soon as you have something that they don't have, they're jealous. Narcissists are pathologically jealous. It's insane how jealous they are. So I want you to think about that. And if you've been trained like that, then guess what? You are going to want to have stuff that can be taken away because that's painful, right? That's painful when somebody takes something from you, especially when you're a child and you really don't understand that you have a choice. And you probably don't have a choice when you're a child because, you're not independent. You are dependent on these people. So it's easier to just not have things, to just not get attention, not have things, so that it won't be taken away. Right? Does anyone relate to this at all? Like, is any of this sounding like something maybe you've experienced or you suspect is something you're experiencing now? So thinking about that. So that's typically what's stopping your flow, is that it's not that it's not there and it's not available. It's that you're afraid to receive it because of blank. Fill in the blank. I'm afraid to receive this because someone will get mad at me, right? I'm going to get punished. I'm going to get criticized, right? They'll want to take it away from me. So there'll be some negative outcome. And that's exactly why it's stopping our flow. Okay. So, all right. So that's enough of that. Just kind of pre-framing the topic. I'll be thought of as greedy. Yeah, for sure. If I want this abundance in whatever form, then people might think I'm greedy. And maybe you heard that, maybe that was part of your family story, is that, oh, it's greedy to want whatever it is. So absolutely. So, all right. So let's talk about this some more. Let's get started with some tapping. So what I want you to do is just think about now, just tune in to your body. Let's just stop tapping for a moment. Tune into your body. Take some breaths with me. In through the nose, out through the nose and mouth. All right. Scan your body and notice, is there any tension? Is there any stuck energy? Is there any unpleasant sensations, or just any sensations at all that you can notice in your body? And then once you get tuned into that, we'll start tapping on the side of the hand. We're just going to do a couple rounds just to get the energy moving and clear out anything that's stuck. So we'll just do some continuous tapping. So just say after me, or just let the words come into your energy field. I release anything and everything that's getting in the way of my abundance. I release anything and everything that stands between me and my abundance. I release anything and everything that's stopping me from receiving my abundance. Let's tap through the points. I release anything in my body. I release anything in my mind. I release anything in my nervous system. I release anything in my heart. I release anything in my energy field. I release anything in my past. I release anything in my present. Going under the arms, I release anything in my future. side of the hand. I release anything anywhere in the universe that's stopping me from receiving my abundance. And breathe. Now, find that place in your body. Tune into it and just tap through the points with me and just breathe and just notice it. Whatever that is for you, wherever it is in the body, just let it be there. We're not trying to fix and change it. Just notice it. Observe the energy and breathe. Maybe notice its color or shape or size. Maybe it has a texture going under the arms. Maybe it has a voice. Tune in and listen. What is it saying? What is this stuck energy saying to me? I'm listening. I'm open to receiving your message. Because you're just energy. And energy is information. I'm open to receiving the information. And maybe it's safe to release this stuck energy. Maybe I could move some of it out now. Gently. Slowly. Releasing stuck energy. And breathing. Thank you for keeping me safe. I know you've been trying to keep me safe. I'm very grateful for you, stuck energy. But it's time for you to start moving out now. It's safe to let this energy release and transform. Come to the heart center and just take a breath. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose and mouth. Okay. I'm just going to stop and check the chat because I see a question. How can I stand in my power at the same time and be a good person? What a great question. So that statement is, what that tells me is that you think that standing in your power means you're not a good person. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. So I would say, take a look at what standing in your power means to you, and take a look at whatever belief you might have that's telling you that standing in your power means you're not a good person, that people that stand in their power aren't good people. Power and good person don't go together, right? Yeah, work to flip that around. Definitely. That's a really good question. Okay. So let's take this a step further now that you've gotten stuck energy moving. Did anyone get any movement? Were you able to move anything? Or were you able to sense anything in your body? Feel free to share. And we're going to work with that. Okay. All right. So let's take a statement now. And the statement is, it's safe to have more blank. Less tension in the shoulders. All right. That's great. It's safe to have more, whatever that is for you. Okay. It's safe to have more money. It's safe to have more time. It's safe to have more energy. It's safe to have more vitality, more health, more love, more joy, more happiness, more peace, more contentment, more gratitude. Yeah, and if you still have some tension, if you have stress in your middle back, just stay focused on that while we're tapping, and just tell your body's intelligence to move this out while we're tapping now. So get your statement. It's safe to have more, whatever that is, and we're going to test it. And I want you to see, how true does it feel? How true does it feel? 0 to 10, 0 being it's not true at all, and 10 being it's completely true. And then get your number, and then just set it aside. So I'll give you a second to get your number. And then if you have It's safe to have more lighthearted joy. Yeah. Perfect. So test it. How true does it feel? How safe is it 0 to 10 to have that now? And what we're looking for now is tailenders, right? Tailenders as in, yeah, but it's safe to have more lighthearted joy, but if I do that, then maybe something bad will happen. It's safe to have more money. Oh, yeah, no, that's never going to happen. That's a tailender. I mean, so look for your tailender. And I know you've got one. I know you've got one. You've probably got several, but we'll start with one. And then you're just going to tune into that. You're going to tune into that tailender. And now we're going to flip the statement to it's not safe to have whatever that is. So we're going to work with the negative first, okay? All right, is everyone ready? You got your tailender? You got your thing that it's not safe to have more of. Even though, and I'm going to use money, okay? Even though it's not safe to have more money. I'm okay right here, right now. Everyone use your phrase. Even though it's not safe to have more money. I hold myself in compassion for how hard this has been for me. Even though it's not safe to have more money, I might give myself permission to relax anyway. It might not be safe. It's probably not safe. People are going to get upset with me. They're going to get mad at me. I might have to work harder to get money or whatever it is I want. I might have to work harder. I don't want to work harder. I don't want people to be upset with me. I don't want to get punished. I don't want it to be taken away. I don't want to be criticized. I don't want to be different from others. What if they can't relate to me? What if they reject me? What if they can't relate to me anymore? What if I'm too different? Who would I have to be to have more, whatever it is? Who would I have to be to have more money, more power, more love? I don't know if I can be that person. It's not safe. What if it's not safe to be that person? What would it mean for me to show up as that person? I don't know if it's safe yet. It hasn't been safe in the past. It's probably not safe now. It's probably not safe in the future. I might as well just stay here. I think it's safer to just stay where I am. I'm fine. I'm fine right here. I don't need any more of anything. Don't worry about me. That's not really true, though. I really do want more. Is it wrong to want more? I do want a little more. Just a little. I'm not being greedy. Is it greedy to want more? Some people think so. Part of me thinks so. But there's a bigger part of me that knows the truth. I deserve more. Ooh, there's a part of me that believes that. I deserve more. What if I deserve more? I wonder what that would feel like. Oh, I wonder what it would feel like to release guilt around wanting more. Is it safe to release guilt? Who would I be without guilt and shame? I have no idea who I would be. That's my identity. I have so much guilt and shame. That's my identity. I don't know how to operate without it. I might be willing, though. I might be willing to learn a new way of being. What if I could be different? What if I could feel different about having more? What if I could have more and more and more and even more after that? I may not know how, and it may not feel safe yet, but I might be willing to find out. All right, let's take a breath here. Just take a deep breath. Tune in now. Okay, let's go back to the original statement, which was it's safe to have more blank. Okay, we're going back to that statement. Safe to have more money. That's mine. And whatever your number was in the beginning, 0 to 10, how safe was it? Has it changed? Is it safer? If the number goes up, it's safer, right? If it's a 10, it's completely safe. So hopefully your number has gone up. If you feel lighter, that's great. Feeling lighter is good. That's kind of a number going up, right? Any movement is good. If you get like an aha or a flash of something, or even if you got some information that doesn't seem to be related, you're like, what is this? I don't know. Why am I thinking about this? It's always related. You may not know right now what it means, but it's always related. So give it some time and you may understand it later. Richard went up to a 10. Yay! All right. Excellent. I love that. Okay. Very good. Very nice. All right. So why don't we do we're going to do a little sneaking away with this. And then I'm going to actually give a little time for Q&A at the end. You can ask me stuff. You can ask me stuff. Okay. A 3 to a 6. Yay. Wonderful. I love that. Okay. So we're going to sneak away from here. Even though it may not be entirely safe yet for me to have more. I've done some work today. My number's going up a little. It feels good to feel lighter. I'm getting there. I've got plenty of time. I have plenty of tools. I have plenty of talent. I'm gifted and skilled. And I know I can keep working on this. And maybe I can love and accept myself just like this. And as it's getting safer and safer, and as I am moving forward in my healing journey, I'm loving myself more. I'm open to more. I'm gentle and patient with myself. I'm accepting myself just the way I am, right here, right now, whether I feel safe or not. I'm still accepting myself. I am right where I need to be on the healing journey, and I'm learning to trust life. Take a deep breath. Wonderful. All right. So if you want to ask me some questions in the chat, I'm going to leave some time here for Q&A. Yeah, play with it some more for sure. Play with it some more. And you can even, I would just recommend keep tapping with it. See if you can find any kind of past event. If you can feel into, if it doesn't feel safe, what last time I wanted more, what happened, right? See if you can find a place where this pattern was created and tap with that and work with that for sure. If anyone wants to share anything that came up for them, or you have any questions about something that came up for you, you can definitely ask me in the chat right now. I'm getting kind of hot here in my room. Woo, got the fan on me, but all this like tapping is getting the energy moving. Let's do a little, while we're waiting to see if anyone has questions, let's do some energy exercises. We'll do them seated. Let's start with, how about this? Rub your hands together. We're just going to integrate this new energy. Rub your hands together and the fingers. And then massage hearts into your face like this. And breathing. Good. And then take your hands and gently cup on your head and cup all the way back to the back of the head. Very gently. And breathing. And then take one hand on the forehead and the other and just gently cup the back of the head. Then take your hand and massage C7 right here, this protrusion in your spine. And this opens up the energy between the heart and the brain along the spine. Good. And then we're just going to gently tap turn your arm up so it's face up, and tap on the inside of your arm, the shoulder, all the way down to the hand, just like that. A couple more times. Get that energy flowing, integrate. Let's do the other side. Nice and gently. Okay. And now go ahead and clap your hands together while they're cupped 9 times. Now, open your fingers really, really wide like this. Stretch them out. And then reach up and stretch your arms up and look up with your eyes. Take a deep breath. Exhale, come back down. Okay. Good. Yes. Sneha, you have a question? Please ask me your question. How's everybody feeling now? Hopefully you're getting some shifts. Okay. I was expecting people to barrage me with questions because usually when I'm on live, people always want to ask me questions. So have any insights come up around maybe how you've been stopping your flow? Can you think of some times in the past when you stopped your flow? Or when something bad happened whenever you had a flow going? Because this is something that happens a lot, is that like maybe we get some traction and we start getting what we want. We're getting more of what we want. And then all of a sudden, we put the brakes on. Something happens. We sabotage. It shows up in a form of like some kind of crisis, or, all of a sudden we're not able to show up and continue doing what we're doing. And this is just a form of self-sabotage, because we're very scared when we start getting success. It's not safe to be joyfully lighthearted because I have to be the responsible adult and the parent to yourself. If I'm not the serious adult, something bad can happen. Absolutely. Yes, that is very common. So a lot of us who have trauma, childhood trauma, we were the parent, and we were the only ones there for ourselves. So now that we're adults, we feel like we have to be serious, right? We have to be serious. I have to really be paying attention. I have to be the grown up. I have to make sure everything's going okay. Otherwise, something bad could happen because we're used to trying to regulate everyone. So we were always trying to regulate the adults around us. And that's work. That's not, that takes work. And so we didn't really get to be children. We didn't really get to just relax and let things flow, right? Children, if you watch children that are healthy and they feel safe, they're just in flow, aren't they? Isn't that exactly what happens? They're in flow. And what happens when we come along, we say, stop doing that, or watch out, you could hurt yourself, or whatever. I mean, even what just well-meaning things that we say as parents. I'm not a parent personally, but I'm just saying, I know this happens, and then it stops the child's flow. It stops the flow right there. And then in that moment, the child may take on a belief like, oh, and it's not the parent's fault. It's just what happens is the child thinks, I was just having fun and just going along with the flow, and then all of a sudden I got in trouble because something bad could have happened, right? So that's how these core beliefs are formed. And it's so simple. And it can be so small sometimes it's not. But then it follows us through life, and it just keeps showing up as a pattern. And then there we are, terrified, of letting things flow, because we feel like something's bad is going to happen, but we can't explain why, because it doesn't make logical sense. That's how trauma works. It's trapped in the body, right? So yeah, that's wonderful, Cecil, that you were able to see that. I guess the chat stopped. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys were probably typing stuff to me and the chat stopped working. Okay. So yeah, so I would just say, do your inner child work, let your inner child play with your inner child as the inner adult, and be joyful and silly, and allow that flow to be safe. Like, practice. You have to practice it. If it's not natural, you just have to practice it. Do things. I'll tell you what. Okay, this is silly, but I love this cup because this is my logo. And I made this logo on purpose to be really playful and sort of childlike. And when I look at it, I giggle because it's so cute and so childlike. And so I like to have things around me that really allow me to feel that childlike playfulness, right? I like to have reminders around me. So get something that reminds you of being joyful and childlike and playful and letting that flow. All right, so we want to be our authentic self, but there's a family member who can harm you if you show your true choices. Yeah, so if you're in a situation where, there's somebody unsafe and they're in your home, then yeah, you want to be careful. You want to make sure that you stay safe, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally. So what I would say is you just want to do your inner child work. And you want to make sure your inner child feels safe, okay? Because what happens is, as adults, even when we're adults, and even if we have a choice, maybe we can leave an unsafe situation, but we don't. Or maybe we feel trapped in an unsafe situation. We can't see any other choice. That's coming from the inner child, because there's always choices. They may not be pleasant, and it may not be what you actually want. It might be hard, it might be difficult, but we always have choices as adults. Children don't have choices. They didn't have choices. So that feeling of sort of like, well, I'm stuck here and I can't be myself. I can't be authentic. I can't stand up for myself because there's these unsafe people. It's coming from the inner child. So the key is to go to the inner child and do the inner child work and let the child feel safe with you. Because once you're able to stabilize your inner adult and you're able to reparent your inner child, then all of a sudden you start feeling more comfortable and relaxed about making choices that are healthy. And you're able to have better boundaries. You're able to make decisions that remove you from unsafe relationships and unsafe people. You're able to see more choices. You're able to see more possibilities. You're able to ask for help. You're able to receive help. You're able to be empowered. Okay, so that's my answer to that question. Go to the inner child, stabilize your inner adult, do the practices that make your nervous system coherent. Tapping, meditation, yoga, qigong, whatever makes your nervous system stable, whatever that is for you. That's what I do. Work with yourself every day. Learn to regulate your own nervous system. You're the master of your own energy, I promise. Get stable in the adult and then work with your inner child. That works. It works. It works. It freaking works every time. It takes work, but it works. Absolutely. Yeah, you're welcome. You know what I'm going to do is, and a lot of people want to know how to work with me. And I'm going to tell you how you can work with me. I have a couple ways you can work with me. I'm going to share in the chat a link where you can go learn about my mastermind. It's called the Heartshine EFT Mastermind. And just put that in the chat. And please do check that out. That's one way you can work with me. I have a webinar coming up too next week on Tuesday about narcissistic trauma and how it can show up in yourself and your clients. So I'm actually addressing that as well in this webinar. So I invite you to check that out. There's a link on my website. And I also have an inner child workshop that's on demand on my website. I'm going to put that link there as well. It was a live workshop that I did, and then we recorded it, and now it's an on-demand workshop, and you can purchase that on my website. I just added a new feature to it as well. So if you purchase that workshop, I actually have a new feature where I come on live once a month, and I do Q&A once a month for all the workshop participants. And so you can show up live and you can ask me questions that come up for you around that training. And so I'm offering that extra support around that course. So yeah, I would love to see you in any of those places. And I also am so grateful that you're here and you are participating in this tapping circle. And thank you for being part of the Heartshine community. All right, so I'm going to wrap us up now. Let's take a community breath together. Place your hands over your heart center. Take a deep breath together. Just feeling so grateful for this shared experience of healing and transformation and connection. May you be at ease and know joy, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.